It's always customary that every time a How to Train Your Dragon trailer drops, everyone loses their minds. And rightly so. How to Train Your Dragon has been one of those movies, a franchise that never disappoints. And now with this new trailer that has dropped, we've been given so much more information without actually spoiling anything, which is how a trailer should be made, to be honest. So let's go into the breakdown of this new How to Train Your Dragon Hidden World trailer.
Another Night Fury.
It's more like a bright
A light fury.
Yeah, yours is better, probably.
First of all, this trailer is beast. So we start off with Stoic's voice telling Hiccup what we saw in the other teaser that we saw, that he's going to have to one day find the hidden world.
Grandparents and their grandparents before them.
So we know that Berk has been around, or at least these people have been on Berk for about almost 5 generations. If we're assuming that each of the people live up to about 70 years old, then it must have been almost 300 years that at least Hiccup's line has been on Berk. Whether this is how long just Stoic's line has been on Berk, or all the Vikings of Berk have been on Berk, we're not really sure. So in the shot you can see what looks like Toothless flying above the entrance to the hidden world. So we see some of the shots that were presented in the other trailers, but we also see more glorious shots. For example, there's this big crystal thing lying in the middle of this little clearing for the dragons that they all seem to congregate around, and you can see that there's also a water source right here. Now we all see the dragons flying up. Is this another crystal that's peeking down, or an entrance? It's like a trick of the eye. It's kind of hard to see. It just looks like big structures of fungi on the ceiling, but it has that same crystal object, at least that's how it appears, hanging from the ceiling. So what is the significance of this crystal object? So then we get to the exciting part of this trailer. Now, we can see Hiccup over a map like he's trying to look for this hidden world. This is where the adventure begins. Just look at how adorable Toothless is here. But this is Hiccup's leg, his prosthetic leg that's lying on the map, because obviously Toothless wants to play with him, but now we're wondering, why is his leg on the map? Why is Toothless bringing Hiccup his prosthetic leg that he's supposed to be wearing? And he says to him, you do know my chew toy, I can't talk today. You do know that my leg is not a chew toy. Then he launches his prosthetic leg over a cliff, and Toothless goes to catch it. Now, if you remember anything from the previous movies, Toothless cannot fly without Hiccup. Yet, we see this happen.
Yeah, go get it.
How am I supposed to get down?
So of course everyone's thinking, oh my gosh, Toothless can fly by himself, yada yada yada. But then why would Hiccup say, how am I supposed to get down? Just stupid on Hiccup's behalf, because why would you throw it over the cliff if you know you can't go down there? Clearly in the shot, Toothless cannot fly by himself. We can remember that he can glide, but he cannot fly or ascend by himself. We see him even wobbly trying to land beneath the fog. And this is probably the scene where he meets the Light Fury. Remember that he also met her underneath of a canopy, and it was a foggy or misty environment. So probably this is the resulting action that causes Toothless to meet the Light Fury. It was still nighttime in the shot when Hiccup is saying, hey bud, wait up, except that it looks as though Toothless does not have that apparatus on his tail that Hiccup made for him. So did he lose it on his way down, or is this just another night shot? However, why would he be chasing him and Hiccup not be on his back? In this scene, Toothless is wearing his tack. Also, in this scene, we can see Toothless wearing his tack. So this leads us to believe that this scene right here where he meets Night Fury is in fact a follow-up to what we just saw with him playing fetch with Hiccup's foot. We can also see that, yes, this is nighttime, but there's also mist around, so they're the same scenes. So at this point in time, it's fair to assume that Toothless cannot fly on his own. Now, here's what's interesting. We hear a cover of Tom Petty's Learning How to Fly. As that song starts playing, goosebumps just started going all over my skin. But in this scene here where he's flying up to meet the Light Fury, Toothless is not seen wearing any tack. So many significant things in this shot right here, which is so beautiful. And shout out to all the deviant artists that drew something like this, because it's exactly the scene that they use in a lot of the artist renditions of the Light Fury and Toothless. For example, this art by Shirecat that was shown before in previous videos. So the symbolism here is that the lyrics to the song say, I'm learning to fly. And here we see Toothless flying with the Light Fury. Now, I did make another video previously about how Toothless is supposed to learn how to fly, because obviously if he's going to be heading off to this hidden world to start his life with a Light Fury or be a wild dragon again, he has to learn how to fly on his own. Clearly in the scene, he lacks his prosthetic tail that comes along with his tack. He's not wearing any. And since there's mist all around, this makes me believe that this is actually really happening to Toothless. It's not just a dream. Also, it would be inconsistent if we've never seen Toothless's dreams before, and then all of a sudden in this movie we start to see his dreamscapes. That wouldn't make any sense. But just like I said in that other video, the only logical explanation for why Toothless would be able to survive in the hidden world is if he learned to fly. Because even if Hiccup made an apparatus for him that could last a while, he always runs the risk of losing it again. And since he'd be so far away from Hiccup, it's not like he can run over or limp or glide over to Hiccup and say, hey, Brock, can you fix this at Tor again or something? If he gets in an altercation with another dragon, that's just going to be out of the picture. So the logical conclusion, which is what I said in the other video, yay, is that he would have to learn to fly. You guys can see that video right here in the card, and it's really interesting because other animals have done it too. So there's some science behind why I came to that conclusion. But clearly in this picture right here, it seems as though the Light Fury is helping Toothless to learn how to fly again with his handicap. Just like people who've lost legs can learn how to walk again, i.e. Hiccup, it is very possible that Toothless can learn to adapt with his handicap and learn to fly without it. Will he fly as good as he did before? Is there a chance he could become as good as he was before? Probably not. There's nothing better than your original limbs that you were born with, but it is possible he can get pretty up there. Hell, there are even people who've lost legs and have beat records in Olympics and stuff. So, hey, you never know. This is Toothless that we're talking about, and he's an alpha. Now, one thing that is confusing is in the shot, even though he lacks the tack, it seems as though he has his other fin on his tail. I don't know about you, but it looks like there's two of them. We're sure that during this time he didn't just grow back another one. Or did he? Valka let Hiccup know that there are a lot of hidden things you don't know about Night Furies. She even touched a spot on Toothless, and fins that we never saw before on this dragon popped up from out of nowhere. In this scene, he lacks the other tail, the other fin, the other tail-tip flappy thing.
There is an armada with enough cages for all of our dragons.
It's nice to see that Hiccup's mom is going to be taking a prominent role in this movie. We've always seen Stoic. We've never seen his relationship with his mom outside of the other movie. So this will be really interesting, and she's a very strong character. So to see the dynamic between all of them dealing with this, at least from start to finish, is going to be very interesting and rewarding to watch. So in the shot, we can see that the Light Fury and Toothless are both captured and being carried away by the villain's dragons. Dragons are captured with their babies. It's very sad because it's possible a lot of these dragons are from Burke.
Kind of enemy.
This part right here just made me so sad. Now, this looks like a Rumblehorn that was charging towards him. I don't think that was Stoic's dragon. I at least hope not, but it's possible this dragon is injured or killed. So from here, we get what happened prior to that scene we saw when he took the Light Fury and Toothless away. It looks as though he actually came to Burke and captured the dragons indeed, because we see Hiccup running and calling out for Toothless helplessly as this guy hauled him and the Light Fury away. Just so sad to see them strung up like fish right here. So the excellent tactic we see here is that this guy has only captured Toothless and his girlfriend, and all the other dragons seem to be following because Toothless is the alpha. Here it looks as though Valka and Hiccup are together at this guy's base. We can see that Valka is in her old warrior getup, which is really cool and a good callback to the second movie. And Astrid asks him, what are you gonna do about it? Which is a good callback to the other movie. What's really cute is that we see Hiccup in his Black Panther, Assassin's Creed looking ninja outfit, and he made others for his friends as well because they don't have dragons, so it makes sense that he would have to find something or make something in such a way that they can get there. Now the question is, did they make something that can flap and actually give them flight? I don't think so, because then what would be the point of having their dragons? Even though that would be nice to still get back their dragons because they have a relationship with them. But humans can fly in the sky now, like Superman. That's freaking awesome. That's like a technological revolution right there. But it's possible this is just something that's advanced gliding, not particularly flying. What's really cool is that each of the kids seem to be donning a suit that is a representation of their dragons. Obviously, that's Astrid in the front because she has a blue suit with the spines going down the back of her head, which is indicative of her dragon, her natter, Stormfly. The same as with the twins, and of course, as with Hiccup, as he's donning the Night Fury. The suit does look a lot more advanced than it did in the previous movie. It's kind of funny when Hiccup accuses Fishlegs of bringing a baby to a battle. If you remember the Christmas special, that's when the dragons gave birth, so it's nice that they followed this up. Is this not a powerful shot? We've seen this in the first trailer, but seeing it again is just like, woo! It's kind of cute to see Toothless being playful here. Don't know why I get a Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron vibe right here. It looks as though Toothless is in the hidden world alongside his girlfriend, and he's looking over, and all the dragons are probably looking over at him. It's probably going to be a Lion King moment when he's going to roar, and all the other dragons are going to be like, yeah, our new leader, our new home. And then, of course, we see the other dragons roaring, and looky here, to the left, there's Drago's dragon, the Bewilderbeast that was spared. So we know that he, too, is now part of the pack. He just couldn't live on Berk because he was too big, but he was probably in the ocean all this time. We can even see his missing horn. Of course, in this specific scene, this is what everyone is looking at. Not only does there appear to be another Light Fury, there appears to be a baby Light Fury right alongside that one. And chances are that's not Toothless's girlfriend. That's probably another one. Maybe her brother or her sister and her niece. And if that is Hiccup's girlfriend, who the frick is that next to her? I mean, did she have a baby with somebody else, or is that just a little sister? But we know it's not because of how they shoot the scene right here. And now a lot of trailers do this to divert people's attention to what they want them to believe, but it just seems too fluid with the scene that they lead with Toothless looking overhead like this is near the end of the movie. Hopefully it's not the very end of the movie because, you know, this is something that should be especially saved for people to want to celebrate over, so it's probably not. They've done a good job so far of not spoiling anything. They haven't really particularly spoiled anything, but this is good. This would be a very good celebratory image right here.
It really does exist.
So boom, we think this is all one clip right here. Toothless doesn't have his tack on. He's sitting beside his knight. He's standing beside his Light Fury. All the other dragons are celebrating him like, you know, Savenya, Lion King thing going on here. He roars in kind after he steps out onto this little glowing crystal thing, which is what we saw also in the earlier part of the trailer. We were wondering what the significance of it was. Then we get an establishing or wide shot of all the dragons roaring in kind and telling him that, yeah, you're a leader, or whatever it is they're telling him. So it's believed that this is all one clip that's happening here. He lands on top of this crystal thing, whatever this crystal thing's significance is. He's sitting on top of it, and we're pretty sure How to Train Your Dragon is going to do the same thing they've done with all the other movies, and they're not going to let symbolism be lost on things. This huge crystal monument in the middle of this hidden world is probably like the dragon's Awa from Avatar. Then what's really interesting is what Astrid says after this.
It really does exist.
Now that's a king.
She says, now that's a king. Maybe she's talking about Hiccup? Or maybe she's talking about Toothless. So this is an interesting scene near the end of the trailer when he's flying on Toothless, and Toothless has all the tack and everything, when the Light Fury comes and knocks him off playfully. That was very rough. So it's possible that by this time she's integrated into society, because we have to also remember that the villain captured Toothless and his girlfriend in the daytime, and we've only ever seen the Light Fury at night. So it is possible that some time passed after Toothless and her hooked up, and she was actually living on Berk with the other dragons. Toothless invited her and said, hey, you're my girl now, so you want to come to my place? You want to move in? And she obliged. So Beautiful Girl here is now a part of Berk's society. I gotta say, this is not a very flattering look for Toothless. Young whippersnapper, you want some candy?
It's free real estate.
Benny says not funny, and this is probably within the same scene here, but why are all the dragons carrying ships? We've seen this happen in the Christmas special as well, and of course, I have not caught up with the TV series, so if I miss a lot of things or a lot of points that I should know that are in this movie or in previous movies, please forgive me, I'm still catching up. But this is something that I did see in the Christmas special one. So where are they carrying these ships to? What is happening? Are they carrying them to the hidden world? Or did they go back and get the humans and decide that the humans should stay with them in this hidden world? What's happening? This is probably not the end of the movie. This is probably them taking on the journey of finding the hidden world itself. Well, why are they carrying the ships, do you ask? Well, it is faster to fly than it is to go by ship. And of course, based on what we see, time is of the essence. So it's fair to assume that in the shot, everybody is going. We can see Valka there on the right. There she is with her cloud jumper. There is Astrid, Fishlegs, Gobber, got Snotlout, and Rough and Tough Nut. And there's what looks to be Gruff the Hobblegrunt. Maybe this is Valka's Gruff that we saw in the second movie. And it only stands to reason that a lot of these dragons that are at Berk are probably Valka's dragons as well. As a matter of fact, most of them are probably Valka's dragons. Then they're going to meet other dragons that are presumably living in this hidden world already. So that's a lot of dragons. You can see the Vikings are carrying mead and food and all these different cartons, and we know that they're going somewhere, that they're going to stay a long time. Can't say that this is for the journey because they have stuff on their dragons for the journey. This is obviously some place where they're planning on being permanently, hence why they're taking all their ships. So, is it possible that the humans will live somewhere nearby the hidden world or in the hidden world itself? Well, yes, after all, Valka did that. This trailer is really exciting, and I'm sure that when we look back over it, we're gonna find more clues as to what's going on. Of course, everyone's like, hey, we just wait till the movie comes out, but where's the fun in that? It's fun picking it apart now. It gives us something to do while we wait. Anyways, this trailer was awesome. What did you guys take away from the trailer? Is there anything that you saw that I might have missed, or something that was significant that stood out to you, or a clue as to what could happen in the upcoming movie? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. Check out our other videos as well on the channel about how to train your dragon, and if you like monsters and dinosaurs, or if you just like character trope TV shows and stuff, feel free to check that out as well. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Altiori. You ask, we answer.